You're listening to SM Media, the number one place for exclusive Scottish football content.
You have the heart of a giant, show it. You got the pride of a lion, roaring. Maybe you need big love, you don't need to give up. 'Cause something real is waiting there for you. You've been flying solo, now it's time to let go. The only thing that's left for you to
Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media Scottish Women's Football Show. I'm Scott McPike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always, and it's a pleasure to be joined by from Airdrie Ladies, Megan Murray. Megan, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to this. We've obviously not done a show in a wee while. It's been a bit of a busy time. There's been a lot happening. We're getting to the final weekend of the kind of big season in SWPL 1 with the split coming up. How's things going at Airdrie? It's been a good run so far. It's been a good wee winning run. How's it been?
Well, it's a season of building for us. Like, it was tough at the start, but see, after New Year, like, we've proved that we've got 10 points out of 18. We've got new players in. We're starting to gel as a team. But it's all about bringing the pathway through and getting the players. We've got 2 players just now that came through the pathway. So it's just about the connection, keeping the bond there, still feeding the players through to come through Airdrie Ladies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, like sitting in 8th place in the table, 20 points for 19 games. It is a competitive league, but how have you kind of found the league? Have you been impressed with the standard of it?
It's tough. I must admit, it's tough. Like, there's a few games I thought we should have obviously got more points from, but it's always learning curve. Like, bringing the new players in, teaching them stuff that you know, bringing the younger players in and helping them develop as more players to enjoy their football. And also winning is always a great part of it, but you take the tough times with the good times.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously like there's a lot of interesting teams in this league, and it's obviously the plan to kind of move forward. What do you kind of think of like the women's game recently and how much it's progressed?
Well, you can see it on the telly, like, it's constant just now. Like, there's a lot of media about women's football, men's teams backing women's football as well, which is great to see. But over the years, like, it wasn't really thought about, and then it comes to now, and it's just took a big turn. Like, it only progress, only get better, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well you see a lot of teams coming through, and again, there's so much competition. I mean, there's 4 leagues, and obviously you've got the Biffa leagues below. Like that, there's a lot of teams, and as you say, that's more opportunity for women to play.
Yeah, 100%. Like, even, like, obviously it's been tough for us. Like, to get girls playing and playing football is always the main goal. Like, if you're winning, yeah, it's good, but just to see girls getting interested in football, and even with COVID took a big hit for women, men, everybody. Like, a lot of people never came back because they started enjoying time, spending more time with their family, and they couldn't commit. So to see that many girls teams throughout the leagues, like, even the development leagues, there's people from the development leagues moving and joining the bigger leagues, and you're seeing like big transfers. Like, for instance, like people for Celtic moving on, Glasgow City moving
Yeah.
on, and well, Hibs, for example. Like, a lot of players for Hibs went to all different teams in their league.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it shows you the progression in the past few years. There's been some action over the past few weeks. There's one game left before the split in the SWPL 1. Obviously, last Sunday was a massive day. Glasgow City won 1-0 away to Celtic, and Leanne Ross's job has been made permanent. I don't think we're surprised by that because she's done so well, and the only unbeaten team in that league. I mean, she's fully deserving of that opportunity.
It's great to see because she was such a key player when she played as well, and to keep her involved and get the role she was kind of destined for as well. It's great to see, and even with the result, because Celtic have been playing well, to get that result is massive for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Glasgow City obviously now are 6 points clear of Celtic at the top of the table. Rangers are a point behind Celtic. Glasgow City, I think a lot of people, I know I was maybe in this as well. Last season when Rangers stopped their dominance and their grip on the title, you thought was that maybe would Glasgow City maybe take some time to get back up to that top level with Rangers and Celtic maybe getting up on them. But they're 6 points clear and they look really, they do look at the moment unstoppable.
It's great to see them bringing their youth players through as well. A lot of them are getting a chance, and it was tough for them, but you see the way they play, they're unstoppable just now. The football they're playing is great to see, and see the clash at the top. It's so difficult to judge. You couldn't call it like because it could just be one day you drop points and don't expect it. But I think it'll be a close call to the end of the season, definitely.
Right, there's 7 points between the top three. Glasgow City 59, Celtic 53, Rangers 52. Who'll win it?
I think City will do it.
I think I'm kind of leaning towards Glasgow City as well. I wouldn't really. I think Rangers. I have been disappointed with Rangers this season. I'm not going to lie. I think there is. I think it's like the men's team, and I don't like comparing the two, but I think they've stood still once they've won the title. I don't think there's a lot to.
They've just not been clinical enough.
I think the injury to Jane Ross was massive. To be fair, I think that was a big one. But losing a player like that, it's difficult to combat. It's difficult to. You shouldn't have all your eggs in one player. But Rangers were so good last season. They should not be. I don't think they should be third. I don't think you should. You can't dominate,
No.
be unbeaten last season, and then fall. And they haven't really lost anybody, to be honest. You'd actually say going into the season they'd strengthened.
100%. But as Jane Ross, she's a leader. She brings on the younger players. Her experience is across the board. Like you can't have that. Well, you can't really like every player, but she's bringing all the players on, and losing her was tough for them, and you can kind of see that. But take it as a season as like other players will grow and somebody will step into that role, but it's just who is it going to be?
Yeah,
And nobody really has took on that role since she's obviously been injured.
no. And you look at, I mean, their goal difference is 78. They are capable of scoring goals, but then they've only lost one game, and it's maybe unfair to say are they taking a step back? But it was the way Celtic toyed with them at times, and that.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Celtic have really surprised me this season and really impressed me because I thought as well Charlie Wellens going, Clarissa Larisse's away as well. They're really. I thought they were struggling for goals, but you look at them now. I mean, if there's anybody going to challenge Glasgow City, it is going to be Celtic, and
Celtic.
yeah, and I'm just Rangers again. I think there's a problem at Rangers as a whole, and as a club, I think the women's team are probably not as big. There's not as big problems as there is in the men's team, to be fair. But I think Rangers won the league last season. We thought this was going to be a period of dominance. It really hasn't worked out that way so far. I know they've only lost one game, but it was a way. I just think it was a bit of a doing, to be honest. I think Celtic really toyed with them, and again, with the way this league kind of works, with the top three, it is if you finish third, questions are asked of you, and that is just sadly what happens especially with just how tight the top three is.
Especially with that league, it's tough to even call it just before the season, but every team's got their problems. And also if Rangers have got their problems, it's hurt them more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's just because I think everybody thought they were dead set to be lead runners straight away. And I think it's quite harsh on them, as in because it can't be that bad because they're still getting results, even if it's a tough grind. But it's because other teams are getting better as well. They're upping their game. They're getting players in for abroad. They're getting players in for like the league above Airdrie's. Like it's hard. It's hard to keep to a level when you've been dominating for that long. So it's testing them as well, and it will better them as a team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The other teams to mention in this league, Hearts and Hibs have solidified their top six. Hearts won 3-0 away to Glasgow Women, and Hibs won 4-0 away to Hamilton. And these are two teams that they'll be happy with just the way their season's going. Fourth and fifth was probably where you expected Hibs and Hearts to be, and they'll just get going about their business really well.
The underdogs, like Hearts, have got obviously the manager come in and they've got a couple of players for Rangers as well, and they've started playing good football. Like they're tough to play against, and teams find them hard to break down. And seeing them do well is great because they gave the manager time to build her team. The team's obviously backing her as well, and they're playing for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think Hearts are really under the radar as well. I think Emma Brownlee's been a terrific addition. Kiara Grant, you've got a lot of good players in that team. Hibs as well. I mean, Leah Tweedy scored a double. Adams is there. There's a lot of good players in that Hibs team. And again, it was just about. I mean, top three is out their reach, but if they can solidify top six, and they have, they'll be happy, and they'll just want to get into the split and just try and again just get as many points as possible.
Just keep building. That's what it's about. Like, know your limits. Like, know your own goals.
Yeah.
And take it for there. Like, they'll see this as a high, and you just keep building. They'll still keep bringing players in, get the team playing well, and then think about next season. They could be chance for top three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they certainly could. Top six will be determined. There's 3 teams in the running for it, and it will be determined on Sunday. Aberdeen play Motherwell, Dundee United play Partick Thistle, and Hearts host Spartans. Just to give you a clue of how this, Partick Thistle sitting 6th now on 28 points. They were helped obviously by winning 4-3 at home to Aberdeen. A tight game, really good. Partick Thistle been a really good run actually. Motherwell 1-2-1 at home to Dundee United. Motherwell sat a point behind in 27 points. Spartans sat a point behind them in 26. It's really close. Again, just Partick Thistle win, obviously they'll solidify the top 6. It's no easy games actually. You would probably say Motherwell are probably just going to maybe edge it because Partick Thistle going away to Dundee United. It's not easy to call that. Motherwell, I think, will beat Aberdeen. Who do you think?
I think Motherwell will do it.
Right.
But, the league is unpredictable. It'll be finishing your game and maybe watching the other results coming in, watching the commentary going up on Twitter. Like, it's going to be right to the deadline for it.
It's going to be really good.
It's always a good buzz when that happens, but you hope, obviously, if it's your team you're wanting, then you're like, oh, what do I do now?
Really interesting
a long way as
finish.
well.
Yeah, it'll be a really interesting finish to the kind of league. But obviously, we get into the split. We'll find out more about that. I think they'll bring out how the fixtures are going to work. SWPL 2, I think the result that certainly caught the eye was Boroughmuir 7, Gartcairn 0. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Gartcairn coming up, they're a strong side. And Boroughmuir, give them a due. They took a few defeats at the start, but they've been bonding as a team, as you can clearly see, and getting the results. And recently, they've just lost a couple of players as well, so it must be hard to get in the team as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I didn't expect that result whatsoever.
Yeah, Boroughmuir, there's a lot to take out. 7 different goal scorers as well, so it shows you they've got the goals spread across the team. And although they're sitting in 5th, it is very tight between 2nd and 5th. There's only, 2nd and 6th actually. There's only 8 points between Gartcairn in 2nd and Queen's Park in 6th. So all it takes is there's only 4 games left, obviously, but it's going to be interesting to see how that season finishes because obviously that promotion spot just does, I imagine 2nd's going to go up and participate in a playoff. Kilmarnock have been a really good run as well, a 3-1 win away to East Fife. Kilmarnock are only a point behind Gartcairn now. They're slowly sneaking up. They've been in a really good run.
Kilmarnock have come on a long way. They've gave the manager a wee bit of time.
Yeah.
But the girls are getting the results. I think Kilmarnock will do it, based on their run. They've got goal scorers as well. Players come back for injury and things like that. And obviously, for experience, if you've got your players come back for injury that are leaders, you feel more at home. You feel confident. They'll bring you on, stuff like that. But yeah, I think Kilmarnock are going to do it.
Yeah, I think Kilmarnock will do it as well. I think as well, Montrose obviously 0-0 draw away to St Johnstone. St Johnstone done really well. Both sides will take a point from that. Montrose, I think Montrose will go up. I think they're 6 points clear. I think they'll win it.
With the gap, I think they'll do it now. So at the start, I didn't think just because obviously your Gartcairn's going up, your Kilmarnock's. But as the season went on, you're like, wee bit of a gap. Yeah, I think they will.
Goal difference is going to be certainly very telling as well because Montrose have a goal difference of 34. Gartcairn in 2nd have a goal difference of 3. So there's 31 goals of a difference. That if it was to become, if Montrose did falter a wee bit, the goal difference would get them through.
Yeah, you've got that wee bit of backing for yourselves if you did.
Yeah, Absolutely. But it's going to be very interesting. Queen's Park 1-3-0 at home to Stirling Uni as well. Championship, very interesting couple of weeks. Livingston held again to a 1-1 draw by Renfrew. They're still 13 points clear. They've only lost one game this season. They're 13 points of a difference. I think there's only 3 games. I think they only play 3 more games. They should win. They should, again, just seal the league and they'll fancy their chances to go up strongly next season.
Livingston will always be a strong side, and they've lost quite a few players as well, so it's been hard. And see, the thing is, they didn't lose.
Mm-hmm.
They still get points on the board.
When you look at, obviously, Rossvale as well, Rossvale cut the gap to a point on Renfrew in second. Rossvale 1-2-0 away to Morton. They have a game in hand in Renfrew as well. It's going to be tight between the top two, the second and third.
It's a bit, I feel like Rossvale have brought a couple of players in and playing well, and Morton lost quite a lot of players. Like we played them in the cup, and you could see they were a bit depleted, but a few players will help them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think as well, obviously with Rossvale and Renfrew, a lot of their goals, like you see a lot of their goal scorers and things, they've got a lot of consistent players who seem to be on it every week. And again, that's vital when you're going up for promotion. And speaking of that, with Ayr and Inverness as well, they're firmly going to be in the 4th and 5th. Ayr, really impressive run. They 1-2-1 away to Dryborough, and Inverness 1-2-1 at home to Hutchie Vale. Again, they're just two sides as well. They'll just be looking to build and maybe move forward next season, but they've been going about their business really well.
Yeah, they're starting to get results, and a season building isn't a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that most players always look at results, how you're doing in the league, and it's hard to bring players in if you aren't getting results and you are maybe sitting bottom of the league or not doing so well. So it's tough.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this league as well. It's only 8 teams. I imagine it's going to increase next season. It's going to be an interesting end to the season just to see where these sides are. You look at players like Ria Hossack for Inverness and Claire Docherty for Ayr. They're just so consistent, scoring a lot of goals, and it's just vital for teams like that who just want to. They're just winning games. When you get players you can rely on as well, it's always very important in a league like that. But we'll move into League Two. Let's start with the victory on Sunday for yourselves, a 6-2 away win over Giffnock. You managed to go on the score sheet as well. Really good performance, really good run you've been on.
Yeah, as I said at the start, like we're starting to bond as a team, we're starting to play good football. And as you can see, we're starting to bang in goals, and also other players are starting to get on the score sheet. Like it's good to see like our captain Maggie scoring an absolute screamer. And that boosts everybody's confidence. When we're playing well, everybody wants to play. And as you can see over the last few weeks, it's not just the strikers that are scoring.
Yeah, and when you've got goal spread across the board like that as well, and you see a lot of young players coming through as well, what's it been kind of like? Obviously, kind of gelling as a team, kind of because this season was always kind of going to be like that for yourselves. Like I remember speaking to the manager at the start of the season, and they kind of had that opinion that this was the way it was going to be.
Well, at the start of the season, we didn't even have a starting 11, and it was tough. Like in bringing players on, it was just about having a team to keep girls playing football.
Yeah.
But you can see we started getting a couple of signings in after the new year, and it's starting to show. We're starting to play football. Like at the start of the season, like I'm a centre half, and because of the depleting numbers we had, like I just played any position.
Yeah.
But I've found this wee bit of confidence playing up front and obviously scoring. Like it's a learning curve for me, even though I'm one of the older players, like and still bringing players on. But it's difficult to keep positive if obviously our results and stuff like that. But we're starting to get the benefits of it now, and it's also just keep on a good run. The last couple of games, like hopefully take all 3 points from all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into some of the other teams in the league as well. Obviously, we'll just run through the results. I'm going to get your thoughts on a few of the teams. Stenhousemuir 1, FC Edinburgh 3, Glenaffer 0, Westdyke 10, Clare Laughlin with 4, and Kayleigh Traynor with a hat-trick. Gilbert Stewart and Wyatt scored as Falkirk 1-3-1 over BSC Glasgow. Edinburgh Caledonia 4-2 away victory over Grampian Ladies. St Mirren 1-6-1 away to Dundee West, and obviously Airdrie beat Giffnock 6-2. FC Edinburgh now still unbeaten. How impressed have you been with them?
They're a tough side. Every time you play them, they don't play the same football every week. And across the board, they've got goal scorers. They've all got a unique talent. Like you've got individual players that will do something just you don't expect. You try and read them and you can't read it. But as a whole, like they're frightening.
Yeah, and they're going to go up as well. They're in a really good position. Second, third, and fourth. There's 4 points between them. All played the same amount of games. West Dyke in 42 points, Falkirk in 40, and St Mirren in 38. Who do you see finishing second?
I can't call it. I generally can't because
What of those?
playing
Who of
each
those 3
team.
teams were the hardest?
The hardest team I would have said was West Dyke
Right.
because when we played St Mirren, I thought we should have got 3 points, but we didn't. Falkirk, we drew with them, but West Dyke across the board, like with their players, like they've got goal scorers everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's tough. And especially like when you're going up and travelling and going to play them, it's tough. But it's the same for them coming down to playing us as well. Because when we played them at home, we drew with them. We travelled up there, and I think it was maybe 8, maybe 10.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I think West Dyke will do it.
Yeah, Stenhouse-Muir, I wouldn't rule them out either. Obviously, 35 points from 18 games. They've got a game to make up on St Mirren, so they could be in the mix as well. Edinburgh, Carly, they've been in a really good run. Obviously, they're sitting in 7th, they're sitting 6 points clear of Airdrie. They've been in a really good run as of late.
Yeah, they've started getting results. We beat them, I think it was 5-2, which was unexpected. They're a tough side, but they've started like they were like when we played them, like it was tough to play them, like but it was just maybe more like our defence was stopping them scoring. But with the results and obviously the players have got, like it is hard like to not be up there with the mix, but they are a good side. Especially with the players they've got, like they've got the striker and she's phenomenal. Get the ball with her feet, she's scoring every day of the week.
Yeah. Like this league as well, like obviously coming up and the way the kind of league's been as well. What's the kind of, how do you see this kind of going forward? Like how much are you kind of looking forward to seeing that improve in the next few years? Because a lot of good teams will come up and a lot of teams will obviously improve. Women's game is just improving, especially at league level.
Well, for this league, obviously, because we're taking this season to build and the way we're playing, I'm actually looking forward to next season, maybe contesting for the top 6. Whereas we're just wanting to win and play football. But with new teams coming in, it'll be good for them as well. It's a challenge for them. It's not an easy league. Like it's generally unpredictable when you're playing it. But it's good to see like obviously the teams going up and other players coming in for different leagues. Maybe players that don't think they can play at the top level and coming down and helping teams, keeping their experience going and passing on their knowledge. But I'm really looking forward to next season. Hopefully, get a couple more players in and other different teams to play.
Yeah, absolutely. One question I want to ask, obviously, we'll preview the game coming up. A big game in Sunday in the league is St Mirren versus Falkirk, obviously, in that league. That'll maybe have a wee influence in second place. One thing is, obviously, what is the weather going to be like, do you think? Do you think the game will go ahead when you host Airdrie, Dundee West on Sunday?
I'm hoping it does hold up because obviously the form we're on. But on Astro, unpredictable. But obviously our travel up there was up to grass. I hope we can better performance and obviously play a lot better, bring them down to us. But the weather's been absolutely horrendous. Like we were training last night and it was a blizzard. And then drive home and there's been nothing where I stay. And then the John Cummins Stadium, it's so open, so like if it is going to ice over, there's no way it's going to be on. But I'm praying it is. Same for all the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting weekend. Obviously, next week we'll be back to do a review of all the weekend's action. It's going to be a very interesting weekend. And Megan, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining me, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much for having me, and hopefully see you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow our social media for consistent women's football coverage, and as always, subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
That's left for